Hey out there in YouTube land, it's Friday, TGIF, thank God I'm free, thank God we're free, right? It's 7 a.m. I just got done doing a little bit of a walk, and I'm down here at this piece of property. I'm laughing because it's not actually property, but I'm thinking about buying this as an investment. I ran this scenario by Diane yesterday, but Diane is in a precarious position. She can't shut me down completely, and she can't show any enthusiasm because I might buy it right there. I might just run down there, and whatever the person's selling that I'm thinking about, I might just go down there and write a check. So she can't say, that's a ridiculous idea, because my defiance is like, then I have to buy it. I'm such a wacko. Now, if she shows any enthusiasm, like if she says, hey, that might be a good and before opportunity even comes out of her mouth, I'm in the car with my checkbook. So yesterday I run this idea by her. And I'm going to tell you guys about this idea because I want your opinion on it. So I run this idea by her yesterday. And she doesn't give me anything. All she does is she just says, No facial expression that could indicate one way or the other. No body language, no nothing. Because I'm pretty good at reading that stuff. I'm a pretty good poker player. And I'm a wacko. I want your guys' opinion whether or not you see any potential with this. I'm not going to go into the specifics as far as the costs and things like that. If you're not familiar with me, then I'll give you a little bit of a background. I am a real estate investor where I go out and I buy a house and I either flip it and I make a profit on it, or I hold it as an investment property and I rent it out. I've done 11 houses in the past couple of years, and it doesn't always go like this, but I've been successful on every one. One of them I almost lost money on, but I still got out a little ahead. So I'm pretty good at evaluating investments. This is a little bit different than the houses that I've purchased in the past, so that's why I want your help. Now, I know if you've watched my videos, somebody might say, well, remember that Jaguar that you bought? That barn find? You were going to do all this, and you were going to make a lot of money. I don't know whose voice that is. If it's your voice, don't take offense to it. Remember when you bought that Jaguar, that barn find, and you were going to make all that money, and then you lost money? Yes, I remember that. I'm taking that into consideration, and that's why I'm asking for you guys' help, whether or not you see anything in this project. All right, I'm going to show it to you now. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on it. All right, here she is. No, not the limo. The bus, all right? What could I turn that into? How beautiful could that thing be at the end of the day? I'd have to leave that grill, like shine it up a little bit, but everything else would get painted. I think it's 32 feet long. I'm not sure. Look at how much tread is left on this thing, right? First time I'm ever checking the tread on a tire for a real estate purchase, because that's what I'm calling this, a real estate purchase, in order to try to get Diane on board. And this is the rear of it. So that is the tour of what I'd like to turn into a tiny house. So you saw the bus. Now, before you form any opinions on whether or not this would be a good deal, I'm asking you to be open-minded and have your creative juices going, because the bus in its current condition, you're going to have to be open-minded. My intention would be to make it beautiful inside, like beautiful, like a tiny house, I guess. Like, I'm not really into tiny houses, but I'm going to tell you what my exit strategies are. I got to show you this. So I put down new decking. That decking it rotted. The wood was bad. 12 years, and it was completely disintegrated. Then I put the structure here, and then I put some shade cloths up there Diane found on Amazon, right? It's not done. I want to put a bench around this corner, and then some kind of a railing, maybe a privacy thing up there. Pretty cool, right? Somehow, I was going to sneak in what I did on the deck to a video. I'm getting a pat on the back. All right, back to the bus. Whenever I go into an investment, and I'm being serious here, whenever I go into an investment, one of the first things I think about, might be the first thing I think about, is what's my exit strategy? How many exit strategies do I have? What's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? How much am I going to have invested in it? what could my return be? And then I move along with it, whether or not it's a good deal or not. So with the bus, my exit strategy, and again, you have to be open-minded and have your creative mind going on. Like, this is what I'm thinking, exit strategy. Here's one of them. We have a couple of houses in Union Beach. Union Beach in New Jersey, if you're not familiar with this area, Union Beach is up and coming. They built a new beach. It costs like, I forget how much, $30-40 million to build this beach. They brought in all new sand. It gets packed during the summer now. It's really up and coming. And I got 2 houses there. One of them, I could park that bus there. After it's renovated, I could park the bus there and use it as an Airbnb. Or, if I really want to push the envelope, I could just rent it out. I'd have the water source there. My daughter's going to be living at that house with her friends, so I already, I'm not going to be bothering tenants. So there's one exit strategy. I could rent the sucker out and leave it on that piece of property. And I think there's a loophole, like, it's not really a mobile home or anything. I don't think the town's going to be able to give me any crap about it. I'm leaning towards that. But the other one is, I looked up renovated school buses. There's a whole, society out there, and they're called schoolies. Pretty cool, with a K, schoolies. Now, I ran that by Diane. I said, what do you think they call this society where they renovate school buses and make them into houses? And I think she called them bouses. I was like, that's pretty creative, right? So I could do an Airbnb, I could rent it out, or I could just flip it. I could sell it. I looked on this site, Schoolies, if you want. I think there's a schoolies.com or something like that. And I saw some pretty, and if it's your bus out there, I mean no offense, but I saw some buses that were renovated, and they don't look nice at all. And they're selling them for $80,000 or $90,000. Like I said, I'm not going to give you the particulars. The numbers aren't really that interesting. They don't get me going. They're not sexy. But I am going to tell you that I'd be probably all in purchasing the bus, renovating it. I'd have a budget of $25,000 total. That's what me doing the majority of the work, and then begging my plumber and electrician friends to help me out, because those are areas I'm not familiar with. So I'd be all in at $25,000. Push came to shove, and I had to sell it. Could I get $50,000 for it? Could I get 25? There's an exit strategy. Can I break even on it? Highly possible. Could I rent it out as an Airbnb? I told Diane that it would be a novelty if somebody was on there looking for an Airbnb in Union Beach, which is up and coming. Like I said, it's a beach town. And they said, well, I've got an Airbnb, and it's a renovated school bus. How cool would that be? Or rent it out all year. Somebody says, you know what, I just can't find an apartment. In this area, a 1-bedroom apartment is going for between $2,500 and $3,000. Could I rent that out for, I don't know, $1,200, $1,500 a month? I think I can. Anyway, taking that all into consideration, this is where I need your guys' help. You could say, that's not a nice deal, Harry. I wouldn't do it. Or, yeah, you know what? I'd stay in a renovated school bus, but it would have to be really nice. We're talking a bathroom, a kitchen, clean, safe, everything else. And yeah, Harry, that's a good idea. Or, Harry, if you flip that thing, I think you'll make a killing. Or you guys might be like Diane and just give me I don't know, do they have a thumbs up, thumbs down? Do they have a sideway? Either way, it's Friday, like I said, TGIF. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Thanks for watching.